We can advocate for Ukraine in international arena and explain why it's absolutely vital and necessary to give Ukrainians everything they need to win this war. We have to stop thinking that Russia is almighty.
Mrs. Tsikhanouskaya, earlier this year, Belarus has moved significant forces to the Ukrainian border, and recently Alexander Lukashenko said that if Belarus is attacked, it will mean World War III. Do you see this as some kind of empty saber rattling, or is there some more tangible threat behind this?
I'm absolutely sure that Belarusian soldiers, Belarusian army would never join Russian army and would never attack Ukraine. And Lukashenko knows about this. What he is doing, he is making some drills, or concentrating some troops that are very loyal to him and sell it as, sell these messages. He knows, and Belarusian people know, that nobody is going to invade us, or provoke us. But he using this rhetoric to blackmail, to disperse attention. When Ukrainian army had succeeded in Kursk direction, Lukashenko was blamed by Russia that this is Lukashenko's fault, because he dragged, troops from the border, and he immediately, to show loyalty, to Putin, again started these drills. So it's like provocation, nothing else. But of course, we have to watch closely what Lukashenko is doing, because when it's necessary for Putin, he will provide our territories, our facilities again. But I don't believe that Russian or that Belarusian soldiers would fight Ukrainians, would die or kill for ambitions of tour operas.
What's your position on Lithuania's request for the International Criminal Court to open investigation into Lukashenko, and what goals can this achieve?
For 3 years in a row already, we have been collecting evidence of Lukashenko's crimes. Of course, this feeling of impunity by dictators embolden them. They think that they can unleash repressions, torture people, make people leave the country because of intimidation, and it's okay. Now this referral is extremely important, first of all, as message that all the perpetrators will be brought to accountability, but also maybe not like immediately, but in future it will have practical results. If arrest warrant will be given on Lukashenko, he will become intentional criminal. He will become pariah. He's already, a pariah to the democratic world, but this justice should prevail.
Over the past 3 months, the Belarusian regime has pardoned over 100 prisoners jailed for taking part in the anti-government protests. What was the motivation behind this wave of pardons?
So just for information, that during the same period of time when about 100 people have been released, more than 100 have been detained. So we can't consider this release as changing of policy of Lukashenko. He's continuing to repress people. I think that it gesture was done for Belarusian people and international world. He wants to improve his image. He again wants to play with these narratives that, look, I'm so, it's as act of humanity. I wouldn't suspect Lukashenko in humanity. He again wants to play this game before so-called elections. And I want to hope, and I actually believe, that democratic world would not change their policy regarding Lukashenko's regime, because he did it many times before, and this time we have to make our job, before until our victory.
There have been many discussions here at the forum about ways to help Ukraine achieve victory, to achieve just and lasting peace. Can the Belarusian opposition play a role in these efforts?
I think that Belarusian society, new democratic Belarus, actually we are dreaming about it, part of the problem, but it might be also part of the solution. We are trying to get Belarus out of this war by dismantling Lukashenko's regime, because independent and free democratic Belarus might help Ukrainians to win this war. Of course, it also might be vice versa, that victory of Ukraine can help Belarus to use this window of opportunity and dismantle the regime. But we as people, we can't give Ukrainians any assistance. We can't give military equipment or millions and millions. But we can advocate for Ukraine in international arena and explain why it's absolutely vital and necessary to give Ukrainians everything they need to win this war. We can support Ukrainian army and our Belarusian volunteers who are fighting shoulder to shoulder with Ukrainians, but also explain how the fate of Belarus and Ukraine are interconnected. That we can't solve one issue without other, because Russia doesn't see Belarus or Ukraine as independent states. They see us as a colony of Russia, but we have to stop this practice, of keeping Belarus and Russia in the influence, keeping Belarus and Ukraine in the influence of Russia. So we can support Ukrainians, we can show acts of solidarity, but also urge the world stop talking about fatigue.
Facing growing repressions, facing the presence of Russian troops and even nuclear arms in Belarus, what do you see as the most realistic path toward democracy and independence from Russia?
For 30 years of Lukashenko's government, he made our country in huge extent dependent on Russia. And now Lukashenko is full ally to Putin, and he is dragging our country in more and more dependence on the Russian Federation. We see how Russia interferes into our economy, our educational processes, in our media. Actually, it's like creeping occupation of our country. And of course, in the future, we have to cut this dependence, and we are already working on future reforms and diversification of oil and gas supply. But now we have to weaken Lukashenko regime as much as possible and strengthen Belarusian people. This is our strategy in the moment. And also, during negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, Belarus issue should also be included. We have to demand a withdrawal of Russian troops, not only from Ukraine, but also from Belarus, and the point about democratization should be in this document, because if not so, the status quo can be settled, in Belarus, and Lukashenko will sell our country piece by piece to Russia, and we lose our independence.
Are you worried that even if Belarus achieves this goal, achieves democracy, achieves independence, that Russia might simply invade and try to force Belarus into obedience, as it attempted when it invaded Ukraine in 2022?
Democratic, powerful world have to condition Russia. They have to say clearly that you can't influence, internal policy of different countries. If to think about this in such a way, so we have to be always threatened that Russia would invade any country. So it's wrong perception. We have to stop thinking that Russia is almighty. Lukashenko always was the person, who told that, I'm providing peace, in Belarus, vote for me. But this is the person who brought war already in my country, who made Belarus co-aggressor, who made Belarus pariah to the world. So now it's occupation already, but under leadership of Lukashenko.
Hey guys, this is Martin Fernusek from the Kyiv Independent. We with our team are doing our best to bring you insightful interviews with world leaders. We are an independent publication funded by our community. If you want to see keep us going, please consider supporting us at kyivindependent.com/membership. Thanks.